Good. New year, new plans. Dirt jump bike. Today we are building a dirt jump bike. Even though I'm not going to become a dirt jumper, I'm going to use this bike in order to learn technique, not tricks maybe, but rather technique for my cross-country racing 2022. And this bike will allow me to do it faster and with more fun. Let's build this one. Here are all the parts for this bike. This is the cheapest steel frame with the cheapest possible components. Really, most of these components are really not even inexpensive. These are really cheap. I don't care about it because I'm not a professional dirt bike jumper. We're starting with the saddle. The saddle has pretty much different purpose than on my XC and road bikes. On my road and XC bikes, it's much higher, it's comfortable for pedaling, and I would usually put the front of the saddle a little bit down. This one will be just the opposite, and it's not for the pedaling efficiency, it's for the room I need for different techniques, not tricks. I'm not going to be doing many tricks, but now I'm gonna put it a little bit higher so that I can clamp it into my servicing stand. And I must tell you that I really missed the classical look of those chromoly frames and little wells on them. I like that. And now you'll know why I couldn't set the saddle all the way down. That's because I need this seat post in order to clamp it like this. First a little bit of grease and then comes the bearing. Same thing down here. Here comes the fork. The fork weighs, I think, more than the frame, probably. It's heavy, it's with no air and no rebound, no adjustments, just the preload, which almost doesn't work on those springs. Some of you were telling me then it's gonna catapult you in the air. In a way, when I'm learning to bunny hop, for example, it will actually help me. You will see that when we go outside. Let's put some grease on and then comes the bottom bearing. And here it is. And you know what? I actually do like the way this chip fork looks like. Boom. I'm not gonna be using this one in rain, but still nice grease here. Seal it off. And of course, before I put the fork into the frame and then I'm looking for the third hand to grab all the other parts, I'm gonna put these parts just here at hand. Und natürlich, bevor ich die Gabel in den Rahmen montiere, brauche ich alle Teile wie Vorbau und die Schrauben hier. And these are the stem, the spacer, the mounting bolt, and all the elements of the upper headset part, which is the bearing, this spacer, and this cover. Let's get closer. Let's take the fork, the upper bearing, then comes a little bit more grease. And the cut that they've made in the factory on this fork is not really straight. Here comes this part. Boom. And the headset is almost done. Now the fork will not fall down. And we are done here, just for now. Ooh, this is nice. All right, let's put the crankset on before the wheels come. And here we have the right crank arm, the left crank arm. Sometimes these are interchangeable, but in this one, we don't have a mounting thread for the chainring. And then the axle and the mounting bolts. This axle doesn't have the drive and the non-drive side. This goes pretty easily. It's gonna center itself while I'm putting the crank arms on. This machine is going to be torture tested because I'm going to be doing on it many things with little skill. Why does this bike have the BMX specific cranksets? I don't know. I think most of the dirt bikes have just the normal crankset. Assembling this crankset is very easy. You just need to know which parts come first. This is kind of a spacer and a protection against the water. Then comes this spacer, and then comes the right crank arm. This is the way they mount the chainring on the BMX crank arm. This is one of the ways. Okie dokie. Now two things. First, the mounting bolts. I'm gonna put these on both sides first, and then these will be tightened after centering the axle. That's how I think it should go. This is how it should spin, so don't be afraid. Now the left side. So 1, 2, 3. This side goes easier than the right side, so I think we have reached the end of the spline on this side. Okay, I feel the resistance now, and that's okay. So now I'm going to fasten these two. And this bike out of the box, because I disassembled it, didn't really have these bolts tightened like a lot. They were very slightly tightened. And I think that this is enough. Please don't tell me that I needed to put this chain first. I was sure that there's enough space between the chainring and the frame for the chain. There isn't. And this is just enough. Okay, if you're accustomed to not even ceramic bearings, but just any type of bearing like on Diddy Swiss wheels or any cross-country bike bottom bracket, this will not be very smooth comparing to that. But if you do different tricks on a dirt bike or BMX bike, you want your cranks to be in the same position where you leave it when you do some kind of, just name it, some tricks. So if you jump, if you do like bike spin or something, you wanna find your pedals at the exact same spot, not spinning like this, for example. This is why it's so hard. Here's the low riser handlebars. Here's the width of it, 74 centimeters, and I'm not going to cut it. The cockpit will be very clean. Just the handlebars, one brake, and the grips. This is looking very nice, and I didn't think that the dirt bike would look nice to me. It was just to do its job, but it does look nice. Keeping the same gap between the stem and this part, here, up there, and down there. Here too much and too little over there. This is really budget braking lever and should be enough for me. Little bit water. Okay. These are really good and safe plugs. Not many parts have left. Actually, I'm just gonna use the re-brake, this housing, and these little clips. Both spacers are going from the bolt side, from its head side. We don't have a hydraulic brake here. That means when I do a bar spin and the housing of my mechanical brake goes around the head tube, there will be really a lot of friction between the cable, which is also not polished. This is one of the most cheapest, the This is one of the cheapest cables also, and so I'm going to put a lot of oil on it. All right, how am I going to be breaking? Just like this, I think. Now we're going to set this opening right here for the cable. And now comes the cable. Now close. Cleaning. And I'm gonna put some oil here. I love no internal cable routing. Here's the end. Now the cable goes into the caliper. Okay. Now I'm lifting this arm just a little and tighten. Ooh! Wow, this is smooth. I'm gonna do click, click, click now. Yeah. Good. For the silver gray frame with some red graphics, should I use the silver or the red end? Ha! It's time for the wheels. Yeah. The best way to do it is on the ground. My goodness, I like the look of a dirt bike. There's not too much space for the tool here, but it's okay. Ta-da! While installing the rear wheel, we also need to adjust the tension of the chain. The easiest way to do it is to let the air out of the tire. Okay. Now we need the tension of the chain and the straight rear wheel. The tension on the chain. Okay. Okay. Good. Now the brake. Just see how it works. Such a cheap brake. Very good. No rubbing. What will we say about the black one reverse platform pedals? Tick. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to check the shifting. But there is no shifting. Now a couple of things on the ground. The headset. What do you think? This is the machine I'm going to do technique drills for 2020 XC racing season. Am I gonna have more fun learning new things? We'll see. Am I gonna be quicker in improving my bunny hop because I do really poor one? We'll see about that within a week. Thanks for watching and see ya.